Hi everyone, welcome back, Bienvenidos. My name is Carlos Pedro-Santa, and as you all know, on my channel we focus on mindset, real estate, and self-development. Today we're going to be talking about everything you need to know as a first-time home buyer for your down payment. One thing to keep in mind is that I do have finance background, so I'm going to be suggesting certain types of accounts that you're going to be able to open. As well, we're going to get into how you can up your down payment, how you can start saving it, and I'm also going to share with you the incentives that you get as a first-time home buyer. So get ready with a paper and pencil, watch this video as many times as you want, and if there's any questions that you may have, either make sure to reach out to me or leave comments below and I will make sure to answer them for you. In order for you to purchase a property in Canada, you're going to need a minimum of 5% down. We're going to do a little calculation with some hypothetical numbers so that you can be aware of how much down payment you're going to require depending on the value of the property that you're trying to obtain. The 5% applies to properties at $500,000 or less. Anything above $500,000 but up to $1 million, you're going to require 10% from the balance of the 500. Anything above $1 million, you're going to require 20% of the full purchase price of that property. If you're looking for a property of $500,000 or less with a minimum down payment of 5%, you're going to require a $25,000 down payment. Let's say you're interested in purchasing a property of $800,000. You're going to require 10% down from those additional $300,000. That is going to turn out to $30,000 on top of the 25. So you're going to require a combined total of $55,000 in order for you to be able to purchase a property of $800,000. You're also going to want to keep in mind that if you are putting less than 20% down, then lenders are going to require you to obtain mortgage insurance, also known as default insurance. Now, who provides this mortgage insurance? There are three major providers of mortgage insurance here in Canada. The first one being the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, also known as CMHC. Second is Genworth, and the third is Canada Guarantee. These insurances are in place for the benefit of the lender should you for some reason default on your mortgage payments, and the lender would then have to foreclose on the property. Remember, no first-time home buyer is the same. I'm going to leave some links below for their websites so that you can go on there and read. These mortgage insurers do have a certain criteria that you're going to have to meet in order for you to qualify for that insurance. With the hypothetical example that we just did, you're going to have sufficient information for you to see whether you do have enough down payment or you're going to need to save a little bit more. So if you have the down payment, awesome. However, if you're not there yet, these next tips are going to help you to get a little bit more savings and a little bit more down payment so that you can have a bigger playing field when you're looking for properties to purchase. What I would suggest is that you open some sort of either checking or savings account for your down payment. This is for the sole reason so that you can keep it separated and you're not tempted to go in and touch it, especially if what you're trying to do is buy your house and build a down payment. Banks provide interest savings accounts. I would suggest you open an account like that so that you can park all your money and at the same time there's interest being paid for that money that you're building. The good thing about these bank accounts is that they're not locked in. So let's say next week, next month, you're ready to buy your house, you've built your down payment, you have the money in there. It's going to be a lot easier for you to withdraw. Another good saving vehicle that we have here in Canada is something called a tax-free savings account. If you don't have a tax-free savings account, also known as a TFSA, I would highly suggest you go to your bank and you find out more about it. The great things about a tax-free savings account is that it allows you to invest your money. So whether it be in a mutual fund or in the stock market, when you are putting funds into an investing account, there's always that potential to gain, but there's always that risk of losing. If your tolerance level is not high for risk, then I would highly suggest that you put that savings account in a TFSA. However, in a low risk investment, again, reach out to your financial advisor. They can provide you more information on what would be beneficial for you. TFSA accounts have been around since 2009. So if you didn't have the opportunity to open your account since then, you are able to open your account now and you would have the max contribution as if you had opened it in 2009. That allowable contribution room is $75,500. In the current year, you are allowed to contribute $6,000. Now, this may change next year as it has ever since inception. Let's imagine that you want to save $6,000 in a year. If you set yourself for that goal, let's divide that $6,000 by the 52 weeks in a year. That will give you $115 that you need to save in order for you to get to $6,000. Go back and watch my previous video where I talk about savings, budgeting, credit, and paying off debt. When you watch that, you will see how it is that you're going to be able to open up and free up some money so you are able to save that $115. Now, let's take this even a little bit further. Let's say you save the $6,000 for 5 years. You're gonna have at the end of those 5 years, $30,000 for a down payment. That is either gonna be your initial or in addition to what you currently have. And that's pretty good, no? But then you're gonna ask, Carlos, what am I possibly gonna buy with $30,000 down payment here in Ontario? And then I'm gonna tell you, you can buy a property that's $500,000. And then you're probably gonna rebuttal that with like, Carlos, really? Is there anything in Toronto for $500,000? And to that I will say, do you have a realtor that's working with you that's gonna help you find these properties? Because they do exist. The only thing is that you may not have all the information or the software necessary in order for you to find this. This is why a realtor is very important when you are trying to figure out and plan for this future purchase. And let's say worst case scenario, you don't find a property. You now just saved $30,000. Friends, this is why I tell you it's very important to break out of that barrier mindset. If you're constantly putting barriers for yourself, then trust me, it will be a lot more difficult for you to obtain a property. I get it. Value of properties have gone high. I understand that. But if you are only concentrating on the fact that these properties are selling for $800,000, $1 million, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, then you are putting yourself even lower and behind than where you're actually supposed to be. And this is why I'm here. I'm here to help you see that big picture, help bring that positive mindset into real estate. Another saving vehicle that will be extremely beneficial for you is a registered retirement savings plan, also known as an RRSP. What is an RRSP? An RRSP is an account where you contribute on a yearly basis. There is a maximum contribution room, and that is all dependent again on you and your specific situation. The good thing about these RRSP accounts is that once you contribute the money, when you are ready to purchase, you have the ability to take out money from your RRSP up to $35,000. That is in addition to the TFSA account that you opened 5 years ago where you saved the $30,000. So now you have $30,000 and $35,000. How much down payment is that? $65,000. Now with the RRSP, you do have to pay the money back, but it is helpful when you are looking to buy that house. If you were to take out the max home buyer's plan, which is $35,000, you would have 15 years to pay that back. The 15 years starts after 2 years from when you take it out. And this is it. Sometimes we don't have all the information. Your situation is different from mine, from the neighbors, from your relative, from your grandparents. It's completely different. You need to stop just listening to people, looking at the news of everything that's rising. When we listen to that, we trap ourselves in those fears. And in order to get out of those fears, we need to stop listening to that. And stop making yourself think that you're not gonna get yourself to home ownership. Talk to your financial advisor, talk to a tax accountant so that they can give you more information on how your situation is going to either change based on you taking out this money. There is certain criteria that need to be met. However, you will never know what that criteria is if you never seek for those answers. So start asking those questions. There's nothing wrong with it. I would inquire with your employer if they are able to deduct a certain amount from your paycheck so that it automatically goes either into the TFSA or the RRSP account. This way, once you do get your monthly paycheck, then you won't have those funds there to play with. So then you'll be more strict to actually stay on top of your budget. If you get bonuses at work, I would suggest you take that big chunk of money and put it away in one of your savings accounts. If you have budgeted that you now are going to start taking transport because you want to build on the down payment, so you need to sell the car. If you sell something and it's a big chunk of money, take all that money and put it away in an account where you're not going to be tempted to touch it. And finally, there's also an incentive for first-time home buyers to make home ownership a little bit more affordable. You could potentially qualify for a 5 to 10% government incentive. This incentive you usually don't have to pay until a later date, which is 25 years, or when the property is sold. I'm going to leave all the links below. If there are any questions, make sure you leave them down below. My contact information is also there. If you'd like to talk about your specific situation, then reach out and then we can start seeing your situation and what steps you will need to take in order for you to get into home ownership. All right, so I know this video was packed with lots of information. There was numbers here, and I think there was a little bit even of that push, of that motivation. So with that being said, make sure you tune in next week because we're going to be talking about mortgages. Y como siempre, recuerda, yo hablo español, así que yo te puedo ayudar en español si eso es lo que tú prefieres. But until then, make sure you share this video with anybody that you think will benefit from it, and I will see you in the next one.